And welcome to Idaho-today. I'm Melissa Paul. When you think of improv, you probably think of comedy, but next week, improv is taking on a meaningful new role because St. Alphonsus is teaming up with local experts to host a workshop that teaches caregivers how to use improv techniques to connect with loved ones living with dementia. It's called Improv for Dementia, and it's a first-of-its-kind collaboration here in the Treasure Valley. So joining us right now to share more, we have Dr. Kara Kuntz, and she's from St. Alphonsus, along with Sean Hancock. He's the founder of Recycled Minds, a local improv group. Great to have both of you here.
Thanks.
Wonderful to see your faces, and I'm so excited to hear that you guys are working together. Adore these two individuals, by the way. Okay, so Dr. Kuntz, let's start with talking about what inspired this workshop and also why you decided to combine improv along with dementia treatment. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thanks. I was first inspired to start thinking about this concept by my colleague and friend, Dr. Ablash Desai. He's a geriatric psychiatrist, and he introduced the concept of improv for dementia care to me. And when I heard about it, I thought this immediately makes sense because improv is helping people learn how to be more present or in the moment and really enhancing communication skills, listening skills. And these are things that become so essential as dementia progresses because one of the hallmark changes of dementia is communication. We lose language over time with a dementia diagnosis. And so learning new communication skills becomes so important, as does learning how to be in the moment, because that's really what's happening for somebody with dementia is their world is becoming more about the moment and less about the past and the future.
Oh, such great points.
Yeah.
And Sean, as an improv expert, right, it must be fulfilling to be a part of this.
It's awesome. It's amazing to work with people who are in difficult times of their life and they're trying to figure out how do I respond in the moment, how do I be present and show up the best possible way that I can. So it's a joy and an honor to be in this space. So I'm so grateful for Kara for bringing me in.
And tell us, how can improv help, caregivers build that connection? How do you help them do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a lot of times, really it boils down to responding well. I like to say that we're all improvisers. We're always improvising all the time.
Yes.
It's just our choices are different, right? Not all choices are created equal. So it's how we show up. It's how we respond in the moment. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, you might get like the worst version of us, or you might get ourselves when we're a little bit rushed or not listening as well, and so you're not getting the best parts of us. So part of what improv allows us to do is yes and respond to what's coming our way, and to show up, to trade maybe correction for playfulness, and so finding ways where, wow, mom's not listening, like mom is thinking of something that's not real right now, but instead of correcting her again and again, I'm gonna roll with her and I'm gonna play with her. And now the caregiver is actually building new memories and laugh out loud moments instead of just trying to correct mom over and over again.
Yes, and I imagine too that probably helps relieve some frustration as well for the caregiver, constantly being in that position of correction, but like you said, being more comfortable with being in the moment.
That's right.
Right? For those who may not be as familiar, what type of struggles do caregivers who are helping a loved one or a friend with dementia typically face? And how do you see that some of these skill sets that they'll be learning through this workshop could really help them in that space?
Yeah, well, Sean highlighted a bunch of them to start. It's absolutely about the frustration of repetitiveness and the frustration around what we called fixed false beliefs, right? Believing something is true that's not true currently or ever. And this desire that we have to try and tap into using logic, reasoning, and judgment, skills that we relied on when we were of normal cognitive function. But when our cognitive function is declining, we lose those abilities. People think of dementia as just about short-term memory loss, but we're also losing reasoning, judgment, insight. And so we need to get creative and be more playful in the moment to increase joy, increase calm, increase well-being. Because the other hard thing in being a caregiver is that if you get upset, your loved one with dementia is taking cues from you, so they get upset, then you get upset, then it just escalates, right?
Yeah.
So we de-escalate that by finding more silliness and playfulness in the things that aren't true, but can just be fun.
Yes.
Or
finding the joy
yeah.
in the unpredictability, right? It
Yeah.
could possibly be a whole new perspective. So
Right.
not only building the ability to be flexible and do the yes and, right? You're also teaching a bit of that joy seeking, if
That's
you will,
right.
right?
Yeah.
The fun.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, the fun, taking
Yeah.
the frustration out of it, the heaviness
Right.
sometimes that can
Yeah.
possibly come in a situation like
Yeah.
this.
And people look
Yeah.
at us a little sideways sometimes when we say
Yeah.
there can be fun in this, but
Yes.
there really can.
Yeah.
It does take some creativity and another way of looking at this, but it's there.
Yeah,
right?
the new
Yeah.
perspective. Yes, which, as you know, improv is all about new perspectives.
Yeah.
Perspectives that you didn't even think about.
That's
You're
right.
like, oh, what a brilliant idea that person had, right?
Yeah.
Going into it with an open mind.
That's right.
Yes, and
Yeah.
possibly not even an open mind, but also an open heart.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. Part of
Yeah.
our job as improvisers is making others look good.
Yeah.
So when you're in the moment and something comes up that was not what you planned, and life goes off script, like we all probably know that by now, is that life doesn't go the way that we intended it to go. And instead of overcorrecting and getting frustrated and trying to control everything, we respond with, okay, maybe life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. So how can I flip the script on this and show up and find how I could be kind in this moment, or how I could yes and that person, how can I make them look good. And in the process, we find that when you make someone else look good, you end up looking awesome and you end up feeling good about yourself because you were there for them. Maybe you had a laugh, a new shared experience. And so the pressure, the weight of like having to control things now goes away, and we can enjoy the process on this new journey that we're going down.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Where can people go so they can learn more about this workshop?
Yeah, thank you. On our St. Alphonsus Memory Center website, we have a link to our events page. On our events page, it lists multiple events, but in particular, you scroll down, you'll see our Improv to Improve Dementia Care program that is happening right now for 2 more weeks down at the Boise Contemporary Theater, another collaborating
wonderful.
partner of ours. Yep.
Great
And
space.
so we're grateful for them to share that space with us. Also collaborating with the Aging Strong program by Janice, and so just a real community effort with Recycled Minds, St. Al's, Boise Contemporary Theater, and the Aging Strong program to
Love
make
it.
this all come together.
Brilliant.
Downtown right now.
Absolutely brilliant. Love this, you guys. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing.